The dirty secrets of hand washing. Whoever heard of such a thing? Well, you hear things like this all the time here at the Christian Whistleblower Gospel Truth channel. And we're here to look at something which is one of those things that usually just goes under the radar. Nobody thinks about it. Nobody addresses it. And I think that there are some deep implications of truth here. I think there's some deep resonance here. And I think it's definitely worth our investigation. The dirty secrets of hand washing. Now, right off the bat, you might ask yourself, what in the world does the washing of hands have to do with anything? And why in the world should we even care about washing hands? Well, I can understand that. I can see that. And yet, so many times you find out that the big things are the little things. The little things are the big things. And we start to think about washing our hands. And specifically, this is in reference to washing your hands before you eat. So what in the world could washing your hands before you eat have to do with spirituality or anything that really matters? Well, it was questions like that had me questioning and wondering about and pondering this strange little verse. And for years, I've wondered about this. It's in Matthew chapter 15, and it talks about tradition and vain worship. And this is these things are added by translators, but they happen to get this one right. The Christ comes to the scribes and Pharisees. The Christ is just minding his own business. And then these dudes come up and attack him. Why do your disciples transgress the tradition of the elders? They don't wash their hands when they eat. So these guys are upset because some of the religious traditions aren't being followed. It's not really whether they should wash their hands or not wash their hands. That's not even the point. I submit to you anyway, the point is not really the washing of hands or not washing of hands. It's why do you transgress the tradition of the elders? That's really the problem. Why aren't you doing what all the religious people tell you to do? And that's what the Christ really commented on and really addressed. And I think there's more here, because when we talk about why you don't wash your hands, we talk about eating bread. And bread here doesn't mean bread, it means food. And let's look at that in the Greek just to confirm that. Because it's possible I could be wrong. It's not likely, but it is possible I could be wrong. So here we are in the Greek New Testament. Why do your disciples break the law, break the tradition of the elders, for they don't wash their hands when they eat bread? Bread, a loaf, food. So see, the implication is much wider than that. It's not just talking about eating bread, not just talking about the communion, talking about eating a meal, eating loaves. Why don't you brothers, mainly means bread, but of course bread was a staple back then, and for too many of your diets it still is. Why do you brothers not wash your hands before you eat your food? Why don't you wash your hands before you eat your meals? Well, let's look at just the practical implications of that for a while right now, just the practical part of it, just the down and dirty, if you will, just the nitty-gritty, as Nacho Libre would say. Let's just look at the nitty-gritty, okay? And let's talk about why it would make any type of a deal or any type of a difference at all that you would wash your hands or not wash your hands, because it's really important. And I think it's really a big hidden key. And here it is. Think about what you're talking about an agrarian society. We're talking about dudes and dudettes that probably had their hands in the soil, right? In the earth, in the dirt. And if you carry that analogy forward to our times, and you're talking about having your hands in the dirt, what is the big danger of having your hands in dirt, in the soil, in the earth? If you eat, I guess the big danger would be, oh my, you might get some dirt in your mouth, right? Well, today, ladies and gentlemen, I would say to you that having your hands in the dirt and actually getting some dirt into your diet, actually getting some dirt into your mouth, is probably a good thing. With our soil so leached, with this fake food, actually getting a little bit of dirt in your mouth, having a little bit of dirt get into your digestive system, as Chaw Edwin says, grounded dirt might just be good for you. Matt Dowling, my granddad, used to say the same thing. You get a cut, rub some dirt on it. The elements of the earth are in dirt. We get dirty from time to time. Yeah, we should get dirty from time to time. Dirt can heal. So on the base level, if we think about washing your hands before you eat, and who started that tradition? Abrahamic religion started that tradition of washing your hands before you eat. The Jews specifically started the tradition of washing your hands before you eat. Okay? So why would a religious tradition say to you, stop eating without washing your hands? Because they want you to get rid of all the possible dirt and nutrients and probiotic substances that might be on your hands. So part of the dirty secrets of washing your hands, the dirty secrets of hand washing, is there's probably some good stuff in that dirt, and the powers that be don't want you to have that stuff in your diet. I've been talking with you over the past few weeks about the importance of diet. They're trying to take us over one spoonful at a time. They're trying to destroy us one forkful at a time. We are the last generation. And they're trying to kill us. They're trying to knock us down. They're trying to demilitarize us in the sense of getting us to the place where we're not willing to fight anymore. We're not willing to identify and respond to injustice. Anya says she ate dirt as a child. I ate dirt as a child. I don't worry about washing my hands. And I think that it might be the dirty truth about hand washing. Part one, as Tina Green says, she loves mud fights, might be that they're trying to control our diet. And if we expand that and look between the lines and get some spiritual understanding about it, we can gain some valuable probiotic bacteria in our lives, in our bodies, hand sanitizers lowering natural immunity. And we walk into the damn grocery store like robots and rub this antibiotic all over our hands. Deeper message here, ladies and gentlemen. They want you to wash your hands because they want to separate you from the earth. They want to separate you from the elements. They want to separate you from the natural environment. Am I reading into it? Possibly. Am I reading into it? Yeah, probably. But I'm trying to draw a spiritual analogy for you here about Tina Green, go sleep in nature, naked fun. You know what? That's probably true. So anyway, washing your hands, I think, is an attempt to separate us from the nutrients, the probiotics, and the elements of our environment, of nature itself. Just like, yeah, oh, put on your shoes before you go outside. Take off your shoes before you go outside. Get in contact with the earth. Get in contact with the dirt. Get in contact with the sand. Get in contact with the grass. But let's also look, I should say, and let's also look at the actual implications of what the Christ was really trying to say from a bigger point of view. So we know that they want us to wash our hands before we eat so they can separate us from some of the good stuff that's within our natural environments. But what is the bigger picture here? What is the more important thing, really, even though that is an important thing? They ask him about eating bread. They ask him about washing hands. And he's like, listen, don't start coming up here talking to me about why don't I wash my hands when you guys transgress the wisdom of the illimitable, inexpressible ones every single day. When the deities say, honor your father and mother, don't curse your father and mother, you make up some religious rule that allows this person to transgress the desires of God. What this was talking about was there was a practice within Judaism that allowed a person, if they wanted to be free from their father and mother, they could say, I think it was called Raka, R-A-C-A. Anything that you would have gotten from me in forms of value is now dedicated to the Lord. So they could basically emancipate themselves from responsibility to the caring for their elders and their parents by saying, hey, I wash my hands of you, and any benefit that you might have got from me, I now pledge to the Lord. Of course, they wouldn't give it to the Lord, but they would free themselves from their responsibilities towards their parents, evidently responsibilities that the Elohim wanted them to honor. Or even if it wasn't a legitimate concern, they made the pretension of saying, 10 commandments, honor your mother and father. And the Christ says, listen, one of your first commandments is honor your mother and father, but you don't even honor your own commandments. You make, right here, you make a gift. You make an opportunity for someone to wriggle out of their commitment towards their families. And here's the real meat and potatoes, or a real good vegetarian or vegan part of this whole thing. This is the real thing here that we really want to hone in on. You make the truth. Let's put it in our perspective. And I keep hitting this thing. Sorry. You've made the reality, the teaching of divinity of no effect by your tradition. Think about what that's saying. Human tradition has the ability to nullify the truths of divinity. Well, how can that be? We're just men. We're just women. How can we nullify the truths of the divine? Well, the divine can do something, say something, enact something that's true. But if you have a tradition that disregards it, if you have a tradition that disempowers it, then you can make the gifts of God, the teachings of the gods, the ultimate gifts of divinity of none effect in your life by the practices that you engage in. Jeff, why are you so upset about us for going to church? Because when you go to Christian church, be it Roman Catholic, be it Roman Protestant, when you follow those anti-Christian traditions, you are making the truth, the divinity, the power, the glory of the Elohim of none effect by your own traditions of going and doing and consorting with the enemies of righteousness. People that draw near unto God with their mouths, honor him with their lips, but their heart is so far from any truth and reality of the divinity, it beggars description. And listen to this, Jeff, but they're so well-meaning. Jeff, they're so well-meaning. They're such good people. They really love God. Don't you think that God's going to give them a break? Here's what I think the Elohim are going to give them, because we're here to make our own way now. The Elohim have given us everything that we need. They've set us in an arena and said, go ahead. Here's the ways. Here's the truths that lead to life, life more abundant. Here's peace, peace that passes all understanding. Grow up in your Elohimness. But if you go the Christian route, in vain are you worshiping. It's not going to do you any good, because you're worshiping with those that teach doctrines of men. If you follow the doctrines of men, you're only going to get a reward as great as men are able to provide to you. And there's not a man alive, there's not a woman alive that's able to provide to you anything that will carry you or help you beyond this present incarnation. And if your hope and your desire is to break out of this body, if your heart and your desire is to break out of this fear and guilt control matrix, if your heart and your desire is to break out of this earthbound existence and move on to something deeper, something stronger, something higher, then if you follow places that teach commandments of men, you're not going to do that. You're going to follow the commandments of men and you get a man's reward. Come back, follow the doctrines of men, come back and do it again. But the Christ says, follow the doctrines of me and be set free. It's all what you want to do. If you want to follow the ways of the Christ, if you are worshiping the doctrines and commandments of men, you are doing it in vain. It's worthless. It's without value. But if you want to do something that's going to help you, then what you can do is follow the ways and the truths of the Christ that lead to life. It's just that simple, folks. It's just that easy. Let me go to the chat room, answer some questions, and see what we've got going on here. Let's see what we've got going on here. Hand sanitizer, no bueno. I agree. Washing your hands is a trap. I agree. If I wash my hands in your dirty water, will your religion make me clean? Well, if you do construction and don't wash your hands, you'll have all that stuff in your food. Maybe that's not such a bad thing. That's all I'm saying, is maybe it's not such a bad thing. Washing equal anointing. That's interesting. Grounded dirt is good for you. I agree. There's even special dirt to eat or take a bath in. I think that's called diatomaceous earth. Mud baths. Good bacteria. Of course there's good bacteria. What do you think? How do you think your body digests food? With good bacteria, beneficial bacteria. See how programmed we are that we don't realize there is good bacteria. Our body's full of good bacteria. No doubt about it. Rode a dirt bike every day. There you go. Gravity Storm's sister once ate a lizard. I don't know if I would recommend the eating of lizards, but hey, that's the way it goes. They don't, Riza, I'm with you. I practice urine therapy. They want to make you think that's all gross. It's not. It is transformational, in my opinion. I'm always barefoot as well. In fact, I'm barefoot right now. And my feet are a little bit dirty because I've been walking on earth. Sorry about that. That's probably the last thing you wanted to see was my feet. But there you go. I will not bow or confess. I won't put any other gods before me. Perfect. How far is rubber-soled shoes to keep you from grounding with the earth? Absolutely right. Told my kid to use hand sanitizer before he eats. He yells out, "Mom, it's trying to make me put chemicals on my hands before I touch my food." Boom. There's a smart kid. Hence the Beatle album, Rubber Soul. Interesting. Interesting. People don't understand that we're all a part of the earth. There's another good implication, Pilate washing his hands. I've heard that if you wear socks when you're sleeping, it helps you get a better sleep because it helps you stabilize your body temperature. Feels a little clammy to me because my feet are kind of hot, so I don't know. Interesting points, though. Interesting points, though. Seeds can't grow without dirt. How about that? I guess they technically can. You can do hydroponics, but it's a good point. It's a real good point. The barefoot GTA, absolutely. I can't sleep nude, says Becky Taylor. I can. Sleep nude after you bathe. Just going through there. Lots of robes. Yeah, better to wear as little as possible. I agree with that. I can't sleep with socks, says Cool Beans. That's okay. Lemon juice and water hand wash got my ski socks on. I slept with socks on in the morning. My feet feel dirty. I'm kind of with you on that one, Z Golden, but there you go. So, of course, on one level, we're talking about the powers that be trying to separate us from the earth. Wash your hands so you don't get any good bacteria. Wash your hands so you don't get any contact with the earth. Wash your hands so you're not in contact with the elements. Olive oil and almond milk and bath water. Huh, that's interesting. Then you've got the deeper implication of believing the people that teach commandments of men over the Christ, which of course taught the doctrines of the divine. So it's again that juxtaposition between Pauline Christianity, which you can believe if you like, or the message of the Christ, which you can also believe if you like. But I believe that you deserve to know that the two are different. I believe that you deserve to know that the two are actually mutually exclusive. You can't believe the doctrines of the Christ and the doctrines of Pauline Christianity. They're two different things, period. So decide which one you want to follow. I support your decision. I support your right to make a decision. I may not support your decision, but I support your right to make a decision. And I also support your right to have as much information as possible in order to facilitate you making a good decision. There you go. The dirty secrets of hand washing. Base level truth, deeper, higher level truth. And that's what we try to bring you here at the Jeff Daugherty Show, Gospel Truth channel. Please like the video. And why do I ask you to like the video? Well, because when you like the video, it pushes the video higher up the algorithm. So more people that would not normally see the video will see it because it'll come up on their feed, and the videos that have more likes come up higher on people's feed. So if you're trying to spread a message, you want people to like your videos. So these empty-headed idiots that say, oh, they all want them to like their video because they're egotistical. No, you're stupid. Jeff, you shouldn't call people stupid. Well, that is stupid. Stupid is criticizing what you don't understand. Stupid is criticizing what you're not able to do yourself. And stupid is trying to tear down somebody else to try to make your own miserable self feel or look better. So I don't apologize for asking you to like this video, because I want you to like this video so more people will be exposed to this video that wouldn't be exposed to this video organically. And if you don't like that, don't watch. It's just that simple. It's just that simple. Just that simple. Those that can't do criticize. And have you ever noticed that? Anyway, I'm just going to forget about that. I'm just going to forget about that. Cry me a river, you little babies. I'm Jeffrey Daugherty, the Christian Whistleblower, asking you to like, asking you to share, asking you to subscribe, and asking you that don't like it to go eat dirt. Go eat dirt. This is the Gospel Truth Army. There's no room here for babies. Be your own guru. Guide your own spirit. Master your own ascension. Ask questions, question answers. You're the Gospel Truth Army. I salute you. March on and be fearless. This is the GTA, and the GTA is not for babies.